Hey, how's it going? So today I wanted to talk about if we could live anywhere, if you could live anywhere on the island of Oahu, where would you live? I mean, I don't know if you heard, but the housing market on Oahu is pretty crazy. The median price is pretty much gonna hit $1 million in the next month or two. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to think about where we would live if we could live anywhere on the island. And I'm joined here by my beautiful wife. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about our top 3 places that we'd like to live. And we haven't rehearsed this, so I don't know her top 3. I think it'd be kind of fun if we actually matched up. And you can see beautiful, I know, Ala Beach Park. I know, not the best, but you know, just out here having a casual time. So also I want to mention that if we don't say where you live, it doesn't mean that you live in a bad area. It just, this is what we personally would prefer to live. And we also have a son, so we also have to keep that in mind as well.
So number 3 I chose is he responds Kailua.
Oh, Kailua.
Yeah.
Okay, why Kailua?
I chose Kailua because, well, one of the biggest reasons was because of the beach and how nice area it is. Not too many homeless people, I guess. Yeah, but mainly for beach. I like Kailua Beach. I like Lanikai Beach. It's just that the places that I chose, I mean, not just for this Kailua, but then even the top 2 is, I just imagine myself living in a house rather than a condo. And it's just, I think they have a nice neighborhood, not too many crimes, I think. But yeah, just nice neighborhood. Not too far from the city. I mean, it still takes about 20-30 minutes away from town, but still, I think it's, yeah. So nice beach, nice, I mean, safe area, I think. Yeah. And yeah.
So actually, my number 3, surprisingly, is Kailua as well. I know, we actually matched.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure we don't match on the rest of this,
Probably.
but Kailua would be my number 3 place to live on Oahu if I could choose. Oh, for a lot of the reasons that my wife had mentioned, I think Kailua is a great choice and a great place to live. They have a lot of great shopping. So Target, they have Whole Foods, down to earth, a lot of good breakfast places.
Yeah.
They're pretty expensive, so obviously it's be tough to buy a place there. But I really I like the laid backness. Like, I like the culture in Kailua. It definitely is a tourist town now. During the past year, it really was pretty nice whenever we would stop by. But it's a very like cool touristy town. I like it. I think it's a great place. The neighborhoods are really nice. It's super flat, which is also really good. They have access to a couple of really great hikes. They have that hike in the swamp, and they also have the pillbox hike, which is really beautiful. Of course, they have Kailua Beach, which I think was rated #1 for several years, as well as they have the Lanikai Beach. I also want to mention that Kailua has pretty good schools. So it's, in terms of like sending your kids to school, like public school, it's actually pretty great. And yeah, you get a good mixture of military kids with the military base being close by, as well as like a lot of local families. So I think the area is great, and to me, that's what I'm looking for. So I wish I could afford to live in Kailua. Probably not gonna be able to, but that's my number 3. All right, so what's your number 2 place that you wish?
My number 2
you'd like to live to on Oahu?
is Kapahulu?
Kapahulu. Oh,
Kapahulu?
okay.
Is it by the? It's by the. What? By the.
Like Diamond Head.
Yeah.
Okay, Kapahulu.
Yeah, that wasn't actually in my option when I'm thinking about it, but the other day when you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a nice area, because I mean, yeah, I mean a lot of places. Well, you mentioned them. Okay. Well, there's a KCC Farmers Market close by. There's my favorite acai bowl probably down the street. Montserrat Avenue. Well, you mentioned good Waikiki school for Our baby boy. Yeah, I mean, nice school for him, at least for the elementary school kid. I think it's safe, kind of. Is it safe?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, it depends. I think it really depends, but then, I mean, not too far from the town. It's only like, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I thought it would be a good area to live. And our son is crying. I'm so sorry.
All right, so while we're here, let me go over my number 2. My number 2 is gonna be Salt Lake, which is like one little area. It's kind of in the middle of the island. I think it's a great place to live. First off, great schools. They have probably the best middle and high school combination. So I think if you get a chance to go there, I mean, I wish we could send our son there in the future. Maybe we can get a GE or something, but to me, those are the best pair, middle school, high school, on this island. So if we get a chance to do that, I would absolutely love to do that. Secondly, it's pretty central to Honolulu. It's also central to like the west side. There is access kind of to the windward side. So to me, it's kind of as central as you can get without being like in central Oahu, like in like Mililani or Wahiawa. That's considered central Oahu. But to me, being in Salt Lake, you have access to a lot of different things, especially being pretty close to town, but you're not actually in town. There's also some really good access to some hiking trails there. There's Monolua Valley Trail, which we've done a couple times. I think it's a great trail. It's not really very scenic, but you just go deep in the valley and then you can come back out. I think it's really nice, and some of the homes there are very beautiful. The bad thing I would say though about that area, Salt Lake, is if you live in a condo, the parking is really terrible because it's pretty much all street parking. So if we have 2 cars, yeah, forget about it. It's gonna be a mad scramble every evening trying to find street parking. But if you can get a house, I think the houses there are really nice. There's a golf course close by, so it's also a good thing if you're a golfer. But I just think, yeah, absolutely a great place to live. But again, it's probably just because the schools are so great. So Salt Lake, Monolua area, that'd be my number 2.
So the number 1 place that I chose is I know I gotta do this every single time. Ready? One more time. The number 1 place that I chose is Manoa.
Oh, Manoa.
Yeah, Manoa. The reason why I chose is Manoa is that, well, it's a nice neighborhood. We've been there several times. Well, just to go to restaurants and even visit my favorite poke off the hook several times. But yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. It's really quiet. We didn't really catch any homeless people whenever we go there. I don't know about school-wise, but just like I could imagine myself living in that house there. It's just like I could feel safe. I could walk around the neighborhood, like probably yeah, I could just walk around there and not feeling like I'm gonna get attacked or something, you know. I mean, because whenever I go out, it's like always gotta be alert and then be aware of what's around you. So yeah, I think it's a nice neighborhood area, very quiet. I don't know about school-wise, but
Yeah, there's some good schools, elementary schools.
yeah.
So Manoa is where the University of Hawaii is, if you're not familiar, and it's a pretty old neighborhood, like old homes, like just super quiet. Like I just imagine like professors and like older people living in that neighborhood. So it's a nice spot. So
yeah,
good choice.
I got approval.
And of course, as the rain falls and my son is crying, I want to share my last one. This is my number 1. If I could choose anywhere on Oahu to live, I would live in Kaneohe. That would be my number 1 choice. Now I know it's not a Hawaii Kai or a Kahala or any of those probably better off rich neighborhoods. But to me, Kaneohe is where I'm from. That's a very special place to me. I wish I could live there. The homes are generally kind of old, but it's very green on that side. Like if you've been to Kaneohe, you know like the Kola Mountains are like right there, and you can see the waterfalls. I like the fact that it's also pretty close to town. I mean, 20-ish minutes to like Kaneohe town, and you have access to basically 3 ways to get out of Kaneohe. You have Pali, you have Like, and you have H3. So in terms of access to the rest of Oahu, I think it's a great place. It's also very cool, generally speaking. It can get kind of humid and hot, but I think it's pretty cool, especially compared to places like out on the west side. But probably the biggest reason for me is family. I have a lot of family there. So I have, of course, my parents and my brother, as well as aunties, uncles, cousins, and they all live in that area, and it's just kind of nice. Again, that's where I grew up. They have Windward Mall, which is great. It's an indoor mall. It's pretty different than it used to be, but still it's indoors and you got food court and things like that. There's also some golf, some other outdoor activities, access to hiking, beaches, and they're okay. But in just general life, I think Kaneohe is where I wish I could live, and the homes are getting more and more expensive there. So it's a little harder to have that dream of living out on that side. But if I could choose anywhere, it would be Kaneohe. So as you can see, it's kind of a wet day, kind of a, I guess, not a great day, and my son's, he's getting a little tired, but thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below where you like to live on Oahu if you had the opportunity. I think it's kind of interesting, our list, but yeah, we better get back. Thanks for watching, and aloha.